Hello, Meat Provisioners. This is John Russo with Provision Processing System. And today I'm going to go over the Lite system and what it does and kind of give you a quick demo of that. It's a popular kind of intro into our system. It allows you to print labels and record that data and get you through so that you don't have to buy the full system at the beginning and get some things that you don't need. It suffices for a lot of our customers. So let's get into that. I'll get my face out of here so you don't have to look at me the whole time. And if I need to show you something, I'll pop back in. Okay, so we have there's two components to the Lite system. There's our desktop version, which is where you add, edit, delete products. We log in, and let me drag that in here. We have our products edit. You can create lots, you can view production, and you can print some labels from your desktop as well. The products edit is pretty extensive. So in there, you can, like I said, add, edit, delete your products. You can set up your ingredients, things like that. There's all these tabs. So for one product, you have your product ID, you have your product name, you have several lines of description you can put in there. You can put it in multiple groups. You can group your products. You can put in your expiration days, its default sales price, what its cost is, what location it goes into when you print a label. There's a lot of information here. One of the things that really matters with the Lite system will be this scale tab, which is where we can set like your min weight and your max weight for a product. So let's say let's go into a product 11101. We'll use that as our test today. Our min weight is 0. Our max weight is, let's say, 100 pounds. Okay. If we have 15 pounds there, that means that every time we print a label, it's going to print 15, so long as it lands between 0 and 100. That wouldn't make much sense because we'd want this probably 0. Our min weight would be 15, and our max would be like 15.02, something like that. And then that's where you'd want to have your fixed weight. If we put this to 0, it's going to print the actual scale weight. Our max weight, let's put as 100, and let's put our min weight as 0. So we can do anything up to 100 pounds on that product. We can set our tare weight. We can auto tare the scale based on a bag or box weight. We can set what label it prints by default. We have two labels. We have a case label and a tray pack label. Or we can print a secondary case label. And then we do have some custom labeling, but I'm not going to get into that to confuse you. This is where you'd select the ingredients. And by the way, we can do custom labeling. You can print any label you want. This is just for the super custom, where we have things like Japanese characters or Chinese characters that got to be on the label, and print things in other languages. That's where we get into that. But when we're just doing labels for customers and we want to print their logos and all those things, that's covered in the Lite system. So anyway, you can edit your ingredients that go on the label. There's a whole bunch of information. We can put these extra fields. We can put additional information. We can name these extra fields. So instead of it saying text or the word extra 2, there's a place in the software to set what those names are. Okay, so that's how we get a product in the system. Then we have to create a lot to process too if we're going to process. So, well, I should have saved those changes to that product. Let me go back in and save those so that we can work with it. 11101 is our product. And let me just set those 0 to 100. And our fixed weight is 0. Let me save that. Okay, and I'm going to close this. So now we're going to go back into lot control. And now in lot control, this is where we decide we create lots to produce to. So if we hit suggest a lot, it's going to create a lot for today. Today is year 22, day 159. That's the Julian date, and this is the second lot of the day. And I'm going to call this our second test lot. So I did some more videos earlier, and I got another lot there. So when we go to the scale, you'll see that 2 lots will show up. Now, why will only 2 show up if we have 3 already and I'm going to add a 4th? I'll tell you in a second, which is this available date and high date. So available date is when the date when that lot will show up on the scale and when it'll hide. So you can put lots in ahead of time so that you don't accidentally produce to lots that aren't ready to be produced to. Projected cases, projected weight, those are informational for reporting. Lot extra 1, 2, and 3, and 4, those are fields that can be put on the label based on the lot. So we had our label design that's associated to the product, but we can also add one to the lot. Then we can select a species, a grade. We can also, this is a real neat part, is where we can uh, print custom labels. So if we choose this, then we can choose a label to override the default label for the product so that we can print a custom label for the customer. And if you want to see what it looks like, you hit the preview, and this is what, so you want to put their logo on the label, then you can, and this is their label. So for this lot, I'm going to print this label. Okay. If I hit add lot now, it'll say you're going to override the label with these default labels. Say OK. So now the default label is 0. So if these were set for 0, see on these yellow here where it says case format and tray pack format, they're both 0. That means it'll print the default. If we have anything other than that, it'll print that label. Okay, now the white labels, the white lots are lots that are open or ready to be processed to. The yellow ones are ones that have gone beyond their date. Okay, and you can leave those there, or you can close them out when you're ready to close them. If you want to leave them in case you need to reprocess to them or something, leave them up there, and you can change the date, hit save, and it'll change it. Okay, so now that our lots are in the system, now we can go to the scale and we can produce. So I'm going to run the scale software now, which would run on a touchscreen washdown PC typically, but in this case we're just going to run it on our screen here to show you. So I'm going to close the software behind so it's not distracting us. I have a little scale simulator here. I'm doing this little slide bar so that I can show you what we're doing. That's not normally there in the software. I'm just running it in test mode. Okay, so first thing we do is select lot. Which lot do we want to process to? Our second test lot. That's the one we just created. And asks us what product we want to weigh. We're going to weigh 11101, which is our product. I could also type in a description. I could say truck roll, and it'll find it that way too. But I'm just gonna, I know the number. It shows me an image. It tells me the sell by days, the pack date that we're working on, the description, what lot we're in, the product ID. That's all there. Up here in the gray is our min and our max, 0 to 100, and it's a random weight item. And then we've got our buttons where we could jump around if we need to. But at this point, if we're weighing up cases of product, we just put the product on and hit print. That's it. Print, we're done. If we went over 100 pounds, it would, let me see if I can, if we went, I think I can't go over 100 anyway because it won't let me. Our print button goes away if it says invalid weight because I have more than 100 pounds, which is more than my max. Okay. So anyway, we can't print more than our max. And I can turn it on too so that if you don't remove the weight each time, let me see if I have that turned on or not. No, but we can set it up so that if you just hit print again, it will not let you. You have to remove the weight and put the new box on. It'll tell you you haven't removed the weight. That's to keep people from just hitting the print button and not weighing all the boxes. Okay, so that's how the system would work. Now all that information is getting recorded. If you needed to change a product, you hit one of these orange buttons based on how you want to look up. I want to look up by ID, by group, by all. Group would be, we had those multiple groups per product, but I want to see all my organic lamb products. And I've got my organic lamb offal beef tenderloin. We could choose that, and then you just put your box on, hit print. If you need to jump to the next lot or something like that, hit the blue button, but we stay in that lot as long as we are in that product. If you want to see all products, you can just tab through and you can just hit a button for whatever, for your snack sticks. If you know the ID or want to look up by some sort of description, you can. Again, like let's say we're looking for bacon. So, and anything with the word bacon in it, there's a lot of bacon products. Beef tenderloin wrapped in bacon, I think it is. Um, so we have all those products. That's how we weigh a case. But let's say we want to weigh pieces in a case and we want to print an inside label and an outside label. We hit the tray pack button, and now we can do print a pack, which is the inside. We print a label, we print pack, we print another label. Now if we hit print case, we get our case label, and I have checked off case manifest. So that's going to print a manifest label, which is everything that's in that case. So let me grab that for you. And I'll show you what it looks like. I'm going to close this, and let me turn my camera back on. See my pretty face again. I don't know if I can make this bigger so you can see better. But this is the case label we told it to print. This is our manifest. If you see, it's got everything that we weighed inside that case. And this is our inner piece label. We made them both the same, the inner piece and the case label. But what we could do is, like I said, we could have that smaller label print inside. Let me get rid of myself again. We can print that smaller label inside. Could be off a different printer, so you could have a pretty custom label and then you print your case label. Okay. Now the select job, I'm going across the buttons here, what they all do. The select job, we use that to select our lot. Create job lot would be if you want to allow the operators to create their own lots on the fly. Again, all these buttons can be turned off. So if you don't want somebody to have access to any one of these buttons, we can turn them off based on who's logged in. Customer, we can select a customer so that it'll show, we can print the customer on the label. The farm code, that's just if you want to put the farm on the label. Change pack date if you need to change the pack date. Change sell by, you can change the sell by days. Change the location, you can change the default location you're packing to. Change the price if you need to, because we can print price labels if you want to. We can print the, like a deli label. If you want to do pre-pricing for somebody, you can do that. If you want to print, the see what's printing is for when you're printing quantity. So if I wanted to print a quantity of these labels, I can hit this blue button up upper right hand corner, enter label quantity. I want 2 labels at 1 pound. And it'll print those labels for me. So to see what's printing, if I was printing a bunch of labels, I could hit that button and it'll show me where we're at in the printing process. So I can close that. DB versus pallet. We can have variable fields pop up. It's just a different view. So if I click that, it'll show me the variable fields view, or I want to see the pallet view. And we'll get into the whole palletizing in a second. But the variable fields would be like, let's say for this label, we have to enter PO every time, or there's variable pieces of data that got to get asked. That's what that is. Reprint would be to reprint a label. Relabel would be to so these are typically only used with if you attach a barcode scanner to the system. But if we have relabel will reprint a label and change its product. So in case and we can do this also on the barcode scanner on our full system, but if you printed some labels that you didn't mean to, you can relabel them, or you can void them. If you made a mistake, you void them, because everything's getting recorded. So, and we're going to print reports later on, so you want to make sure that the information is accurate. You can go in and void things you didn't mean to. If a fill order is a full system capability, it wouldn't be in the Lite system. Same with view order, but void. So if we didn't mean to make these labels, I can highlight them with my finger, and I can hit void. I see, okay, they're voided. Now they don't exist anymore. We do keep a record that it happened, but they're gone. And these buttons are for the full system as well. You can refill, hold over, receive on this scale. Recipe mixing, we can go in and it asks us what recipe we want to mix. Spice mix A, I want to do blend number 4, and I can go in and mix a recipe right on the scale here. The palletizing is for if I want to build a pallet. Let's say I want to put a bunch of stuff on a pallet and I want to scan when I'm shipping it later on. I want to only scan one barcode. Or you want to keep track of what's on a pallet in the Lite system, you can do that. So this isn't available for the Lite system. One of the nice things about the palletizing is I can, let's say I hit select pallet, I say new pallet, it asks me the product that it's going to print me a pallet tag on my printer, and then, which is just a barcode with the number on it that pallet is. And it asks me what lot I'm processing on this pallet, my product, 111, I'm going to do that 11101 again. And if I hit print, now it put a label into that pallet. So pallet 13508 has one label attached to it. All right, so I can print another one. Now there's two on there. And I can also do this in the tray pack screen. So um, now that I have two on there, I can change product. I can have mixed product on a pallet too. So if I want to change products, 11102, let's say, this is another product. I hit print. Now I've got these two products on in that one pallet. I can now print a pallet manifest and it'll tell me everything that's in that pallet, which is nice for if I'm shipping or if I'm printing my bill of ladings later on, or if I just want to palletize for the customer, I can have that labeling capability. So now that it's all done, I would hit print partial pallet. That'll close out the pallet, and we're gone. Now, if I can have up to 10 pallets open at the same time. If I click this pallet, it'll jump to that product on that pallet. Okay, so it'll jump back to that product and that lot that I was working on before, and it'll let me produce to that pallet again. So I can reopen pallets, I can jump back and forth. Copies up here lets me choose how many copies. If you notice, it came up with count because the last product I was waiting on here was a counted item. So I can enter how many pieces instead of weight. I can have my totals showing here, so I can reset my total so I have a running total. If I want to view production, I can see what if I go back to my previous lot, okay, so I can choose the lot that I was on before. I hit the lot button, or the pallet button by accident. If I go back to this lot, I don't care. I'm going to hit view production for this lot. Right, it shows me what I made under that lot so far. So if the production manager or something wants to walk up and see what's been being made, this is how many labels I've produced, how much weight I've produced. Just on the fly, right here on the scale. Now that we're done, let's say we want to go see our production. I can go back and run the PC software again, and this is the final part of the Lite system where we can see what we've made. So I can go in and choose our lot. I can go into production, and we've got our lot control, which is our test lot, second test lot for video. I think it's the one we're working on. If I highlight that, I want to see the detail. I run this, prints two reports, one for what was issued in, which is part of the full system, for full traceability, where it can issue in and see where it came from, where it went. But I can now tell you, I can print this report. This is a printable, emailable report that shows me every box. Every box has a serial number. We're using GS1 barcoding, so that we can put a barcode on every single one, has a unique identifier. Tells me that it's still in inventory, and again, inventory would be part of the full system, but I do know who made it and how much I made. Okay, if I want to just see a summary, I can just see the products that I weighed and total pounds. Okay, this is a real useful report. You can use this if you're just doing slaughter. You can. We also have the next step up is our Harvest Lite system, which also includes slaughter in here, so you can keep track of animals and then what you've produced under that animal, and hand that to a customer so that they have a weight sheet of everything that was cut. I think that about covers it. So if you have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to email us or or contact us. You can get all our information on provisionprocessingsystem.com. www.scale.net is our other website. That's our parent. And if you want to call us, 203-792-2854. Thank you very much. Just for reference, today is June 8th, 2022. We're constantly modifying the software, so there's always new features added to the software for you. Thank you.